What are schools? Schools, written with a capital S, is a fascinating subject. Before I explain what they are, let me explain a bit why it is so difficult to work with this idea. Many writers have referred to schools as the main center of human conscious development. Scientists, on the other hand, are really reluctant to touch this subject for a number of reasons. Let's see three of them. A. Schools usually incorporate mysticism in their practices, and it is still considered a taboo for many scientists to do formal research regarding schools, spiritual traditions, and similar activities. B. The main idea of science, or episteme even better, but let's not go into that right now, is accessibility for everyone, and it is very different from the way people have access to knowledge in schools. This is why it's called mysticism after all. C. The old mechanistic scientific thinking was not flexible enough to accommodate school teachings. Now, many new findings in neurosciences, for example, are compatible with school practices, but specific experiments to link these findings with school practices are at the earliest stages. So, what are schools? Schools, or traditions, again with a capital T, are systems for self-growth, providing tools for self-development, usually under the pretext of some activity: spirituality, martial arts, music, therapy, etc. They are always led by at least one teacher that has reached a certain level of self-realization. Characteristically, one needs to be physically present during the work done at any school. This demonstrates the limits of even top of the notch online courses and, of course, books. They cannot replace school teachings. For example, in the Christian tradition, Jesus, after his resurrection, returned in a physical form for a considerable amount of time to continue teaching his devotees. Why is that so necessary then? Because A. Oftentimes, the most valuable pieces of information are provided between sessions, within breaks or seemingly irrelevant activities, not during the actual work. B. Some teachings are too personal and cannot be conveyed or even presented through any impersonal means, such as a massive online course platform. C. Big teachers teach with more ways than the eye meets. Notice that according to many schools, not all teachers have a physical form, and this is an idea that frightens most researchers enough so that they tend to stay away. However, it is really important to know that even though we have scratched only the surface of school teachings in science, we have gone at least as far as to see that there is much more to learn. For example, there is research available demonstrating that the until recently energy centers of the body, like the Tantien, close to the navel, actually do demonstrate some interesting properties. You may Google it and find some relevant scientific papers. Definitely, most people will never have the opportunity to work within a school. This is why it is so important that the digital method has selected and categorized many such teachings with practical implications for all learners, such as the value of slow practice or of meditation. The digital method has also shown when one needs what, since There are also many New Age practitioners who use concepts found in schools in the wrong way for the at least goal that they want to achieve in learning. Let me share a personal story here. I was talking to a famous tennis trainer. He did not know about the digital method nor about the schools I work within. So when I asked him about the tools he uses as a tennis coach, he said something about meditation, which is okay under certain preconditions, of course, but also he talked about samskaras, what is thought of as karmic imprints on our subtle bodies. This reveals, for me, a complete lack of understanding of what tools are needed for what purpose. Regardless of whether such imprints exist or not, their role is not to help improve motor or cognitive skills. Also, for those of you that have actually received such teachings, thinking that removing a karmic imprint may open the way to success in tennis, for example, shows additional lack of understanding. So we need a good understanding of what schools offer and also a methodology to make a system out of it. In the digital method, we focus on expertise attainment. Schools have a lot to offer us regarding the mysteries of thoughts, learning, and growth. So, as we will see in the final section of this course, in the digital method guidelines, the relevant ideas include, for example, slow practice, altered state of consciousness to achieve super learning, special types of practice, and stuff like that. Through the work in schools, one sees that there is no magic process that creates exceptional individuals. Actually, it takes the effort and the knowledge of thousands of individuals to develop a truly great performer and a bright personality that in turn may affect and change thousands or even millions of lives. So, no magic tricks here to attain any level of proficiency. It needs hard work for many years. A brief comment is needed here. Are schools old and outdated in any way? In many ways, yes, and in many ways, no. This is why we use epistemology to be able to categorize what is what. Do not forget that science has very few answers, if any. It is more like a net. Science is more like a net that we cast in the ocean of the world phenomena. Traditions and schools are like the oceans, not like the net. We see incredible individuals, such as monk warriors, Johann Sebastian Bach, or Plato. But we have to understand what is relevant for us and make it a system, not just scattered pieces of information, tricks, and stories about God.